look at the Knicks, obviously, got talent there. I haven't had some labor, but still, Tibbs is the coach and the talent we have. What have you seen here lately?
I mean, right off the bat, it's Barrett's growth as a scorer, not afraid to take big shots, ability to get to the free throw line, and then the way they create extra possessions with the offensive rebounding. And Fournier's gotten more comfortable in their system. And they're just tough. I'm watching film on them in the back, and they just don't give in, even in games where they may have lost the game, but they just keep playing the same way the whole game, just tough, physical, Tibbs defense for sure. So, but Barrett has just stepped up big time since he's come back, and even before then.
Together and they played together reserves, but now starting the game now. Before you saw from the last game, maybe you feel like it can be a carryover.
Maybe it was the first time, so I think Cam is going to get better as he gets in better condition and shape. And Landry, he was coming off the bench, then starting, so that's takes some getting used to. But he was out for a while, so he's starting to get his sea legs back. But the pace was better. The hit-ahead passes were really good for us, and the ability to just be physical on defense and keep the ball in front. Those two can do that, and it allows for us to, get to our shift defense and help those guys out. But there's a lot of pace when those two are on the floor.
You had Cam in at 20 minutes Wednesday night. Are you going to keep 9 minutes restriction for a while? No,
I mean, a lot of it was just because of the fourth quarter. So I didn't have to bring him back. He probably would have played maybe 5-6 more minutes. I was trying to keep him and Aaron in 5-6 minutes burst or increments. But, we're in a position now where it's hard to, gauge the minute totals just because of where we are. In an ideal world, I probably would have played him, 15 to 20 on his first game back, but just because of where we are, I tried to shorten his minutes so that I could play him more. Tonight is probably going to be the same thing because of where we are with our guard rotation.
Landry in the starting lineup, 12 shots for him.
Yeah, I love it. I want him shooting the ball, not thinking about it. There was one possession where he actually chased the shot right in front of our bench, and that's how we want Landry playing. We want him playing confidently. He plays with great pace, and again, I think it's 4 games for him since he's been out, and it takes you a minute to get your game rhythm, especially when you don't touch the ball as much as Chris or Book do. So I like the shot total, but I like the attitude more than anything.
We were talking to Aaron the other day, and he was mentioning he'd be lying if he said it had been easy learning all this stuff that he has to learn. So,
Me too.
How do you kind of balance, throwing a guy into the fire when you don't have Chris and Book with, slowly helping him learn?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to use the word fair because we're playing basketball and we get paid a lot of money to do what we do, but it is a tough situation for him to, come here right away and be thrown in as a point guard. For Torrey, as a wing power forward, it's a little bit easier because he doesn't have to manage the game. He doesn't have to handle the ball. He doesn't necessarily have to, call sets and analyze time score situations. So that's really hard. We tried to simplify things for him at the same time, trying to win games. But I've said this before, he's a holiday. And I coached Drew. I've been around Justin. That family's a tough family. And I know he can handle it. But it is a tough spot to be in.
I also wanted to ask about Frank. We've seen him, shooting with some of the bigs recently, and just, I don't know to what extent he's able to start ramping things up, but how nice is it to just have him back out there with the team and working like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him on the floor. I'm glad he's, been able to progress to where he is. We weren't quite sure what that was going to look like when we first got the diagnosis. So to see him out there with the guys and shooting, I'm sure it gives him more ownership, because when you're out, you feel like you're not even a part of it, even though you are. But I know that it helps his emotional state, and Frank's been with us from day one. We love having him around, and he's a good player. So we're hopeful to get him back and, have him back in the fold.
Monty, I'm curious with Aaron, he had a couple of turnovers the other night, but with a player like him, do you just want him to keep playing at that speed and learn through the mistakes as opposed to hesitating and slowing down?
Yeah, we want guys to learn from the mistakes, but we don't want guys playing in fear of making a mistake. That's just not how we've done things here. He's in the film room or on the floor watching film with the coaches in practice, and I walked through some things with him to try to help him out in those situations this morning. What to look for, and a lot of it is just with us, just making the simple pass that's right next to you. Sometimes you try to make the cross-court pass or trying to make the right play, but with us, the way that we pass the ball, sometimes it's just the guy right next to you is the easiest pass, and that's typically what we stress with guys that come to our program. We've had a lot of guys that we had to integrate, and so I feel like that can help him stay out of those situations.
Probably so well. How do you think he's gonna embrace or feel that once he's gonna see all the time winners, because he's won behind Don Nelson?
I mean, that's one question I can't even imagine trying to answer. I have no idea. I mean, I won 300 games, I guess, and you're talking about a guy who's won there you go. So what could I can't answer that. I'm like, I have no idea what that's like. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I mean it from just.
I have no shot at that one. I'm just grateful that I've had a chance to play for him. I'm grateful that he's a huge part of my life, a mentor, a friend, a truth teller. I'm grateful that I was a part of a few of those wins as a player and a coach. And I don't know what that's going to be like for him, because I think people see the selflessness with him, and there's a tendency to think that that's just like a TV thing, but it is the real deal. Like he never talks about that stuff. He never talks about retiring. He never talks about like anything but the game or, some social issue or family, but that kind of stuff, I think he'd probably give me the business if I brought it up. I mean, he just doesn't talk about it. So I don't know how to answer that one. I'm just happy for him.
Coach, the other night, Bismack got in the fourth quarter, after the game got away. And he hasn't played much lately. You've talked about before, it's hard to get a third center out there in the rotation because it jumbles things up. What have you been able to say to him, or how does he keep the right mindset?
It's actually what he said to me. Every day I walk into the gym, he's on the floor, and he's the same guy every day. I'm sure he's not content with not playing, but he loves being here. And when I walk out there, he's just like, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" I'm like, "How are you doing?" He's like, "I'm great." I think he understands where we are. And I try to tell guys the absolute truth when they get here, what it may be like as I see it. And I think when you do that, guys can reference that. And we told him, this was the situation, and he understands it. The thing that I respect about him is he works his tail off every off day to stay in the kind of shape that you have to be in case he is called. But it's more about what he says to me when I walk onto the floor. He's already there, and he has the same attitude every day, and he stays ready.
I have the same question for you about Elvis. Peyton.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. I know he wants to play more, and as I've said a number of times, he's been dealt the toughest hand of anybody, because he's been in, out of the rotation. But he's the same guy every day. And there are times where I walk over to him to make sure he's okay and just check on him, and he's good. But I know he wants to play, and I respect that.
Thanks, Coach.
Right. Thank you.